Between 2018 and 2023, my income more than doubled. And in this episode, I'm going to talk about the formula that I used to increase my income so that I can spend more, save more, invest more, and live a more abundant life. The first thing I did was that I stopped playing victim. I started taking radical responsibility. You see, till that point in my life, I was playing victim in one area of my life or another. And there were good reasons why. There were things in my life that I had no control over, and it came and hit me like a ton of bricks in my early childhood, in my teenage, through the course of my life. But when I was about 20-something, I realized that I could carry on blaming my surroundings, which I honestly had no control over, or I started taking radical responsibility myself. I would not let anyone else control my story. I just started stepping into my power. And I know it might sound very fluffy, but actually your journey starts counting when you start taking radical responsibility for the life that you are co-creating with your surroundings. If something doesn't work, try it another way. If that doesn't work, try it another way. You just refuse to take no for an answer. You just believe that everything in life is rigged in your favor. The next thing I did was get completely obsessed with personal development. It sort of goes hand in hand. When you start taking radical responsibility, the only way you have out of that is develop yourself, improve yourself, self-improvement, personal development, whatever you call it. I started becoming a student of every personal development guru I could find. And in fact, in this video, I have spoken about the number of courses that I took to actually improve myself and increase my income. Some of them, like Formula, taught me better time management, which taught me awareness. Some were meditation courses that I got trained in out in London. I took a lot of business courses which covered the processes of running a business, scaling a business, and so on. It taught me about how to build a team. It taught me about how to run ads. It taught me about how to write better copy. I also took copywriting courses separately from that. I took courses in search engine optimization, YouTube, Facebook ads, you name it. I did the entire shebang of trying to improve myself, right from my mindset, my habits, all the way through to really understanding business and how business works. And what I found is that in most of the organizations that I was working in, the marketing person only knew about marketing. The salesperson only knew about sales. The operations person only knew about operations. The finance person only knew about balance sheets. You get the point. No one was looking at all of this holistically. No one was going into the depth of actually, as a marketing person, what support do you need from me as a finance person or an operations person or a data person? As a technology function, what support do you need from your chief operations officer? As a finance person, what are the insights that you want the data team to draw out for you that will help you in improving the revenue? All of this, no one was really looking at. And many a times, I found myself to be in a market of one where I was the one person who could talk SEO to my marketing team, Facebook ads to my marketing team, operations to my ops team, strategy and balance sheets to my finance team or my CEO. And people started realizing that this person over here has something unique. They are looking at the business cross-functionally and they are trying to break the silos. And this is what leads me to the next point, which is I started really understanding business. I mean, to understand business, I started a business myself. You don't have to go as extreme as I did. You don't necessarily have to start a business to understand how businesses operate. However, if you are considering a side hustle, it's a really good idea because a lot of what you learn in your side hustle can actually be brought into your own work, in your work life, in your career, and you start becoming that person who views everything in the lens of business. Does this make sense financially? Does this make sense for our customers? Does this provide the best experience that I can possibly provide to my customers to improve my retention? And this, when I started tuning into, was music to the ears of the C-suite execs who were typically the ones I was interviewing with, I was interacting with on a daily basis. And most of my peers around me did not understand business. They were brilliant technologists, or they were brilliant marketeers. They were brilliant at operations. They were brilliant in finance. They were experts in their field. But I was this weird generalist who was more specialized than the average generalist. So I understood the depth and I had the breadth. And in the industry, sometimes they call these people T-shaped people. The top of the T goes for the breadth and the bottom of the T goes for the depth. And in previous videos, I think I've jokingly said that why be T when you can be pi? And when I say pi, I mean you can be a bit of an expert in a lot of things, and you can also cover the breadth of things, which will give you this cross-functional view of how businesses operate and can help you transform businesses. It can help you build new businesses. And that is where I think the true unlock was for me. Like I said, you don't have to start a business to understand business. A lot of people go to MBA school to learn business. I find that is an extremely expensive way of learning business, unless of course you are going to the Ivy League, you are getting a degree from a Harvard or a Columbia. That's different. But if you are going for an average MBA, I would suggest that actually stop and reconsider why is it that you want to do that MBA. And could some other course on the internet or some real life experience help you in getting the same experience and the same exposure? If yes, go do the latter, because you'll have saved yourself a lot of money and you will also have gained a lot of practical experience. Because ultimately, even the professors in the universities are academics. They are teaching you from the perspective of academia. Most of them are not practitioners anyway. I love the academia. However, I do think that learning by doing is far more powerful in integrating the knowledge than just reading the theory, which is why try and get onto courses that are built by people who have built businesses. They'll help you get to the ground zero and help you learn what you would learn in 5 years in probably 5 months. And that is where I think the biggest unlock has been for me, which is why I go back to saying that all of these courses that I took were not from the Harvard MBA professors. They were built by people who had practical experience in running businesses, and there was a community of business owners who were facing real life challenges, and we were discussing these in case studies within our group sessions. I was having one-on-one chats. I still have one-on-one chats with many business owners and entrepreneurs, and I find that's really interesting when you want to apply the learnings into your own day job as well, because you end up becoming this market of one. And when you have really understood business, the next thing is about communicating your value out to the market. That be through your LinkedIn profile, it could be through your CV, of course, would be through your CV if you're looking for a job. It will definitely need to be showcased in interviews if you are going through a job search. It should come through in every interaction that you have with your peers and execs within your industry. So this is something that I started doing quite a lot. I was actively talking about my learnings on YouTube, on my blog, on my LinkedIn, and also I built my LinkedIn and my CV in a way that leads were coming to me. People wanted to hire me instead of me having to go out and look for a job. So truth be told, in the last 5 years, all of the jobs that I have gotten have been through LinkedIn. Don't get me wrong, it's not like I did not apply for jobs. When I wanted to get into job search mode, I did apply for jobs. But funnily enough, all of the jobs that were offered to me, and this is upwards of 10 jobs that were offered to me in the last 5 years, all of these have come to me through LinkedIn. Additionally, I have also gotten interest from the biggest of the corporates out there, you name it, Facebook, Microsoft, Google, BCG, McKinsey, Bain, you name it. All of them have reached out to me, and you get to become that candidate who gets to say no very respectfully if it doesn't fit within your value system wisdom within your current lifestyle, etc. And this is what I am actually discussing within the Six Figure Club. Link in the description if you want to join us. It's really at a fraction of cost of an MBA. But if you want to join us, link in the description. Come join us. We have a really good community out there. If you don't want to, come join my insiders list. I send out information to my insiders that I simply don't share anywhere else. Every Friday and Tuesday, I write an email to my insiders discussing the new things that have been happening in that week and what I learned in my journey and what I thought would be useful for them. So I do that a lot. I have one of my mailboxes that is dedicated to only personal development. So I know every time I want to get inspired, I go into that mailbox, I look at the 3 or 4 mentors that are effective for me in that season of life, and I just start reading their emails, consuming their YouTube content or podcast content or blogs or so on. And I think this is the radical shift that happened to me in 2018 that changed the course of my income and the impact that I was having in the businesses that I was a part of. Fun fact, in my last job, there was one particular vendor that I got into the company and we had 100x on that one particular investment that I made. Of course, I did not get all of that as my bonus, but that is what the impact looks like when you hire top talent into your organization. And when you can become that top talent, you are playing in a whole different market, my friend, because there are very few people who are really approaching job search from the perspective of becoming a better candidate that the market wants to hire. It's a no-brainer to pay this person the additional number of dollars because they will make 10x, 20x, 100x more than what they were paid to do the job. If you enjoyed this video, please do consider subscribing because it does help me out a lot. And if you did, you might enjoy something like this or this that I will leave up here, and I'll see you the next time. Bye.